بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Welcome to English for Arabs channel. Interchange 3 4th edition, Unit 3, Part 2. 6. The words of exercise number 6. Decline, refuse. Notes, information written on paper. 8. Collocations. Two words usually come together. Owe an apology. Offer an apology. Accept an apology. Return a phone call. Make a phone call. Receive a phone call. Return a favor. Do a favor. Ask for a favor. Take care R here, because we have vowel before R. Receive an invitation. Accept an invitation. Turn down an invitation. Turn down to refuse an offer or request. Turn down to refuse. Make a request. Offer request. Refuse request. Receive a gift. Give a gift. Refuse a gift. Receive a compliment. Return a compliment. Give a compliment. 9. Words of exercise number 9. Assistant. Someone who helps someone else to do a job. Assistant. Someone who helps someone else to do a job. Staff meeting. Staff. Take care. The difference between staff and staff. Staff, employees, but staff with you, things. This is with A. Staff. Staff meeting, T sub D. Staff meeting, employees meeting. Instead of, in place of. Instead of, in place of. In place of someone or something else. Date. To have a romantic meeting. 11. I'm broke. I have no money. Respond, reply. Number 12 here. This is 12. Number 12. So these are the words of exercise number 12. The passage. Miscommunications. Problems communicating. Miscommunications. Problems communicating. O as a sound. Problems. British. Problems. But American. Problems. O as a sound. Were ignoring. Weren't paying any attention to. Rephrased. Expressed in different words. Paraphrase. Paraphrased. So this is the past, but the verb rephrase and the past paraphrased. Give up. Stopped trying to do something. Give, present, G-I-V-E, but the past gave up. Stop. Present S-T-O-P. The past stopped. American stop. Stopped trying to do something. Noted. Moved the head up and down. Shakes. Movements from side to side. Shakes. Movements from side to side. I can say movements. I can make the T silent because I have T and there is N before T. Like the word 20 we say 20 movements from side to side. Raise, lift, indicate, to show clear. Culture, the way of life. Culture, the way of life. Especially the general customs. So I can say culture, the way of life, or the general customs. Confusing, difficult to understand, difficult to understand. Stuffed cabbage, stuffed cabbage. Find out, found out. Discover, depend on, depend on, count on somebody. Occur, occur, happen. Occur, R-F-R-R, occur, happen. Unit 3, Part 2. Exercise number 7. Interchange 3, borrowers and lenders. Find out how generous you are. Go to Interchange 3 on page 116. So this exercise is an activity and you have to make it for speaking between you and your friends on page 116. So let's get exercise number 8. Look at the picture. What do you see? Two young ladies. They are smiling. They are very happy. So this is a gift, a present. So someone is trying to give the second a present or a gift. So maybe this young lady is trying to give a gift or present to her friend, and both of them are very happy. Exercise 8. Word power. Collocations. Collocations means two words that connected together. Two words that come together. A. Which verb is not usually paired with each noun? Put a line through the verb, then compare with the partner. So here in this exercise, you will have 4 verbs and a noun, 1 word. You will match the word that doesn't go with the noun, the verb that doesn't go with the noun. For example, we say, receive a gift, give a gift, accept a gift. So these are collocations. But do a gift? No, this is not a collocation. They are not connected. They don't come together. We don't say do a gift. This is wrong. So do wrong. Number 2, where is the mistake? Number 2. Owe an apology. An apology, to apologize. Offer an apology. Accept an apology. What is the wrong verb? Do. So number 2, do. Number 1, do. Number 2, do. Do wrong. 3. A phone call. So we say in English, return a phone call. Make a phone call. Receive a phone call. But the wrong, do. 3, do wrong. 4. A favor. What are the verbs that come with a favor? We say, ask for a favor. We say, return a favor, do a favor, ask for a favor. But make a favor is wrong. We don't say make a favor. This is wrong. A favor is support or service. So make wrong. Number 4, make wrong. 5. An invitation. What are the words that go with an invitation? We say, receive an invitation, accept an invitation, turn down an invitation. But we don't say offer. No, offer wrong. So number 5, offer. 6. A request. We say accept a request, make a request, decline, refuse, decline a request. So the wrong word is offer. This is wrong. So number 6, offer, is the wrong verb. 7. Receive. Receive a compliment. Compliment, sweet words. Compliment, British, American compliment. So we say receive a compliment, return a compliment, give a compliment. But we don't say do. No, do, wrong. Again, the answers. Number 1, do. Number 2, do. 3, do. 4, make. 5, offer. 6, offer. 7, do. So these verbs don't go with these nouns. B. Pair work. Add 2 questions to the list using the collocations in part A. Then take turns asking and answering the questions. So in this exercise, you're going to make different questions, to ask different questions to your friend, and your friend will answer. You will use the collocations in part A. Example number 1. When? When was the last time you received a gift from someone? What was it? The last time I received a gift from my brother. It was a wonderful silver t-shirt. 2. Have you ever not accepted someone's apology? Why not? Yes, I have. Last year, I didn't accept my student's apology. My student's apology. Why? Because he was lazy, he didn't study, and he didn't come to the exam. 3. Do you usually return phone calls that you miss? Why or why not? Yes, I usually return phone calls that I miss. Because maybe there is an important call. 4. We can ask a question. 4. When was the last time you owed someone an apology? So A asks, when was the last time you owed someone an apology? Well, just yesterday I spilled my soda all over you. 5. Have you ever done a favor? Have you ever done a favor? A favor, a good thing, a support for someone, a service. Have you ever done a favor? Yes, I have. Last year, I donated to charity. I donated to charities associations. Donate means to give money to help people.
Page 19, Exercise 9, Perspectives. Could you tell Jeff, Part A. Listen to the messages Jeff's assistant received while Jeff was away at lunch today. Complete each request with ask or tell.
So in this exercise number 9, could you tell Jeff? So in this exercise, we're going to do two things. Number one, we're going to listen to the messages of Jeff's assistant received while Jeff was away at lunch today. So we're going to write ask and tell here. We're going to complete the messages with ask and tell. Number two, we're gonna answer. Who do you think left each message? His boss, his friend, his girlfriend? His boss means his manager, his friend, his girlfriend, his mother, his teacher, his younger sister, his little sister.
1.
Could you tell Jeff that Tony is having a party on Friday night?
Number 1. Could you tell Jeff that Tony is having a party on Friday night? So number 1, tell. T-E-L-L, tell. Could you tell Jeff? What do you think? Who left this message? 1. His friend. You choose his boss, his friend, his girlfriend, his mother, his teacher, his younger sister. So number 1, his friend. 1, tell, his friend. 2.
2.
Could you ask Jeff what he would like me to get him for his birthday?
2. Could you ask Jeff what he would like me to get him for his birthday? So here number 2, ask. And for number 2, who could say these words? Who left the message? It could be his mother, his girlfriend, his younger sister. So number 2, we have different answers. So maybe his mother. 3.
3.
Jeff is picking me up after basketball practice. Can you tell him not to be late?
Jeff is picking me up after basketball practice. Can you tell him not to be late? So here, tell, and also who said this? Of course, his younger sister. 4.
4.
Please tell Jeff that I owe him an apology. I forgot about our date last night.
4. Please tell. Please tell Jeff that I owe him an apology. An apology to apologize. I forgot. T soft D and O as a sound. I forget about our date last night. Date, to have a romantic relationship or a romantic meeting. So number 4, of course, his girlfriend. 4, his girlfriend.
5.
Can you ask Jeff to return my call? I need to know when his report will be ready.
5. Can you ask Jeff to return my call? I need to know when his report will be ready. So number 5, ask. And number 5, of course, this is his boss. His manager. 6.
6.
Could you ask Jeff whether he can come to class on Friday night instead of Thursday?
6. Could you ask Jeff whether he can come to class on Friday night instead of Thursday? So could you ask? So here, the verb ask. Of course, we have the word class. So this is of course his teacher.
Page 20, Exercise 10, Grammar Focus. Indirect Requests. Statements.
Jeff, Tony is having a party.
Indirect requests introduced by that.
Could you tell Jeff Tony is having a party? Could you tell Jeff that Tony is having a party?
Imperatives.
Jeff, don't be late.
Indirect requests using infinitives.
Can you tell Jeff not to be late?
Yes/no questions.
Sophia, are you free on Friday? Sophia, do you have my number?
Indirect requests introduced by if or whether.
Can you ask Sophia if she's free on Friday? Could you ask her whether or not she has my number?
WH questions.
Jeff, when does the party start?
Sophia, what time should I pick you up?
Indirect requests introduced by a question word.
Can you ask Jeff when the party starts?
Could you ask Sophia what time I should pick her up?
Of course, this is the indirect request. The indirect request, number 1, statements. Statements, sentences. Jeff, Tony is having a party. This is a reported speech and would like to make it from direct to indirect. So we say, could you tell? Would you tell? Plus the name of the person, Jeff. Could you tell Jeff that? Plus the sentence, Tony is having a party. Could you tell Jeff that Tony is having a party? Plus question mark. Could you tell Jeff that Tony is having a party? So here we use could you tell because it's a sentence, and then the name of the person, Jeff, or could you tell him? Could you tell her that plus the sentence, Tony is having a party. So this is number 1. Could you tell him? Would you please tell him? Please tell him that Tony is having a party. Imperatives. What's an imperative? An imperative, it means to give an order, like get up early, sleep early, stand up. The negative with don't. Stand up, don't sit down, do not sit down, don't. But in American we say don't. Jeff, don't be late. Indirect. With indirect, here we didn't have a question mark, so we use the verb tell. Can you tell? Can you tell Jeff? Can you tell him or can you tell Jeff not to be late? So if I said here, Jeff, please get up early. Can you tell Jeff to get up early? Jeff, please Jeff, don't be late. Can you tell Jeff not to be late? So here we'll put can you tell plus the name of the person, him or her. Can you tell him? Can you tell her? Tell her, tell her. Can you tell Jeff? To plus the main verb, infinitive. Negative. Can you tell Jeff? Can you tell him? Can you tell her or can you tell him? Of course, Jeff, a man, him. Can you tell him? Can you tell him? Can you tell Jeff not to plus infinitive? If the sentence do not. Yes, no questions. So we'll call it yes, no questions because in the answer you must say yes or no. Sophia, are you free on Friday? Yes, I am free. Or no, I am not free. Sophia, do you have my number? Yes. Yes, I do. Or no, I don't. So in these exercises here, in these questions, we have the answer with yes or no. How can we change this to indirect question, to indirect request. So because we have here a question mark, we use the verb ask. Can you ask? Can you ask? Can you ask who? The name here, Sophia. Can you ask Sophia? And then, because this is yes no question, we use F. If she is free on Friday. If Sophia is free on Friday. Can you ask Sophia if she's free on Friday? So here we have, can you ask Sophia? The name of the person, F plus the sentence, subject, verb, and then we'll put a question mark. Sophia, do you have my number? Could you ask her? Could you ask her? Could you ask Sophia? Could you ask her? Would you ask her? Can you ask her whether or not she has my number? So here we say, can you ask? Could you ask? Would you ask him or her? Her for woman, him for man. If plus sentence, whether or not plus sentence. WH questions. Jeff, when does the party start? So here we have WH questions. Jeff, when does the party start? Can you ask Jeff when the party starts? So because it's a question, we use can you ask plus the name of the person. Can you ask Jeff? Can you ask him? When plus subject, the party, verb start, and then you put S. You put S because I have here does. Can you ask Jeff when the party starts? Sophia, what time should I pick you up? Could you ask Sophia what time I should pick her up? What time I should pick her up? So here we're gonna have can you ask, could you ask him or her? Question word, when or what? Subject, like the party, I, plus the verb. Indirect requests. Indirect requests with statements. Statements, sentences. So here we have report speech, indirect. For example, someone calls your brother. Your brother's friend calls him. And your brother is not in. Your brother is not inside the house. Your brother is not at home. So, your brother's friend leaves a message. So let's get with this message. Statement, sentence. The meeting is on Friday. Please tell Anne that the meeting is on Friday. Please tell her that the meeting is on Friday. Could you tell her that the meeting is on Friday? Would you tell her that the meeting is on Friday? So here you say, please tell the person that, and then you write the sentence, the message. So here, statements with tell, statement, the meeting is on Friday. Please tell him. If I would like to give the message to a young lady or a woman, we use her. Please tell him, please tell her that. And the sentence, the statement, the meeting is on Friday. Could you tell him? Could you tell her that the meeting is on Friday? Would you tell him? Would you tell her that the meeting is on Friday. Imperatives. Here we have indirect requests with imperatives. Imperatives to give order. Message, the imperative, don't be late. Do not be late. Don't be late. So in American, don't be late. Please tell him not to be late. Please tell her not to be late. Message, call me back as soon as possible. Would you tell him? Would you tell her? Would you tell her? Would you tell her to call me back as soon as possible? So here we start with a verb like be or call. So this is the imperative. In negative we say don't be late or don't call me. Message, call me back as soon as possible. So this is imperative because we start with a verb. Please tell him, please tell her to call me back as soon as possible. Could you tell him? Could you tell her? Would you tell him? Would you tell her to call me back as soon as possible? Indirect requests with yes-no questions. Yes-no questions, in the answer we have yes or no. Sophia, are you free on Friday? Indirect request. So here you would like to ask someone to tell Sophia this request. Can you ask Sophia if she's free on Friday? Can you ask Sophia whether or not she's free on Friday? So here we have can you ask or could you ask? And then we use if or whether or not. We delete the helping verb like are, we delete it. And then we use subject, verb, or could you ask whether or not subject plus verb. And here this subject would change it. When I say are you free on Friday, so here we change it to she. Or if I talk about a man, he. Can you ask Sophia if she's free on Friday? Can you ask Sophia whether or not she's free on Friday? So have here, can you ask if? Could you ask whether or not? Subject plus verb. Indirect requests from WH questions. WH questions with verb to be. We have a question here. I would like to ask this question to somebody else. So I'm going to ask somebody to ask this question to his friend. Example, where is the bank? Could you ask Ahmed? Could you ask him where the bank is? Where are the cars? Can you ask her where the cars are? So here we'll put is and are at the end. So this is a question. We have question word is are plus subject. But here's I'm going to say, can you ask him? Can you ask her? Could you ask him? Could you ask her? Question word subject is are. Is or are. If I have do or did in the question, how I'm going to change it into indirect question? How much does a newspaper cost? Can you ask him how much a newspaper costs? A newspaper costs, so here we put S. So here we omit does, we remove does, and we put S. What time do the banks open? Could you ask her? Could you ask her what time the banks open? When did flight 566 arrive? Can you ask him when flight 566 arrived? So I put here the D. We remove did and we'll put D. So here in the question we're going to have do, does, or did. So we'll say, can you ask him? Can you ask her? Could you ask him? Could you ask her? Then question word subject plus the verb. If the verb, here in the question we have do, we remove do. If we have does, we put here s, but we remove does, we delete does. If we have did, we remove did, we delete did, but we add ed. Rewrite these sentences as indirect requests. In other words, ask someone to deliver the message for you, then compare with the partner. So in this exercise, we're going to ask another person to tell the message. For example, number 1, Nina, will you drive us to the party on Friday? So the answer here, number 1, this is a question, so we use ask. Could you ask Nina? And then start with helping verb. Yes, no question. If she will drive us to the party on Friday, this is number 1. 1 minute, try to answer. Two, Tony, how many friends can I bring to your party? So number 2, can you ask Tony? Another answer, could you ask Tony? Can you ask Tony? Could you ask Tony? How many friends I can bring to his party? Again, number 2, can you ask Tony? Could you ask Tony? How many friends I can bring to his party? 3, Sophia, are you going to the party with Jeff? And we said going to, I can say gonna. But here going to, because I don't have infinitive. Sophia, are you going to the party with Jeff? So 3, can you ask Sophia? Could you ask Sophia? If she's going to the party with Jeff, another answer. Could you ask Sophia whether or not she's going to the party with Jeff? 4, Kevin, did you accept the invitation to Tony's party? Kevin, did you accept the invitation to Tony's party? Can you ask Kevin if he accepted the invitation to Tony's party? Another answer. Could you ask Kevin whether or not he accepted the invitation to Tony's party? 5, Mario, are you going to give Tony a gift? 5, can you ask Mario if he's going to give Tony a gift? Another answer. Could you ask Mario whether or not he's going to give Tony a gift? 6, Anne Marie, please return my phone call. Can you ask Anne? Can you ask Anne Marie to please return my phone call? Another answer. Could you ask Anne Marie to please return my phone call? 7, Dan, where is the best place to park? 7, could you ask Dan where the best place to park a car is? 8, Kimberly, I have to turn down your invitation to the movies. We said turn down, it means to refuse. Can you tell Kimberly Could you tell Kimberly that I have to turn down her invitation to the movies? Could you tell Kimberly that I have to turn down her invitation to the movies? Exercise number 11, speaking. Pass it on. Look at the picture. What do you see? Two young ladies, they're talking, and this young lady, she has empty buckets, so that means she's broke. She's broke, she doesn't have money, maybe, and her friend is trying to help her. They're thinking together. A. Write 5 unusual requests for your partner to pass on to a classmate. You pass these requests to your friends in class. Example: would you ask Jane Suk if she could lend me $100? $100. So this is one of the requests. Of course, B, class activity. You ask your friend to pass on your requests, to give your requests to other people, to other classmates. Go around the class and make your partner's requests. Then tell your partner how people responded. So this is A, B, and C. A. Would you ask Jane Suk if she could lend me $100? Sure, Jane Suk. Could you lend Isam $100? C. I'm sorry, but but I can't. Could you tell Isam I am broke? I don't have any money. Isam, Jane Suk says that she's broke. She doesn't have any money. Exercise number 12, reading. Yes or no? Yes or no? This is a question mark. Scan the article. Where did the 3 events occur? Where the 3 events happen. 1. Living in a foreign culture can be exciting. A foreign culture, to live abroad, can be exciting, interesting, but it can also be confusing. Difficult to understand. It's not easy to understand. A group of Americans who taught English in other countries recently discussed their experiences. A group of Americans, some Americans, who taught English. The verb taught, the present teach. Taught, the past. A group of Americans who were teachers, who were teaching English in other countries, recently discussed their experiences. Everyone started to talk about his experience. They decided that miscommunications, it means problems because of communicating among people. Miscommunications were always possible, British, American, possible, and this word always, L silent, even over something as simple as yes and no. Even over something as simple as yes and no. Even the words yes and no weren't easy to understand. So, let's answer some questions. Is living in a foreign culture exciting? Yes, it's exciting and interesting. What is the problem of living in a foreign culture? Living in a foreign culture could be also confusing. Who is going to tell us about his or her experience? A group of Americans who taught English in other countries are going to tell us about their experiences. Do we have miscommunications when we live abroad? Of course. We have a lot of miscommunications even when we have simple words as yes and no. Number 2, paragraph 2. On her first day in Micronesia, this is a name of place, Lisa thought people were ignoring her requests. Ignore. Don't reply. Don't answer. Not to respond. People were ignoring her requests. The day was hot and she needed a cold drink. She went into a store and asked. She went into a shop, American shop, and asked her DT, do you have cold drinks? The woman there didn't say anything. Lisa rephrased the question. Rephrase, paraphrase. To say the words in a different way. To say the question, to repeat the question again. Still the woman said nothing. Lisa gave up and left the store. She later learned that the woman had answered her. She had raised her eyebrows. Eyebrows, it means, okay, they are of course the brows, the eyebrows over the eyes, which in Micronesia means yes. So here, for this man, these are the eyebrows. So when the woman raised her eyebrows, it means yes. Were people ignoring Lisa? No, they weren't. What was the weather like in Micronesia? The weather was hot. That day was hot. What did Lisa need? She needed a cold drink. What did she do? She went into a shop and asked it for a cold drink. Did the sales assistant say anything? No, she didn't. What did Lisa do? She rephrased the question. What does mean yes? What is the movement? What is the gesture in Micronesia? To say yes means to raise the eyebrows. Paragraph 3. This reminded Jan of an experience she had. This reminded Jane of an experience she had in Bulgaria. She had gone to a restaurant that was known for its stuffed cabbage. She asked the waiter, waiter. She asked the waiter, do you have stuffed cabbage today? He nodded his head. Jane eagerly waited. She waited, but the cabbage never came. In that country, a nod means no. A nod, to nod with your head, to move your head up and down. This means no. In the Arab world, it means yes, but in other countries, in Bulgaria, it means no. So, where did Jane travel? Jane traveled to Bulgaria. What did she ask? She asked for stuffed cabbages. How did the waiter nod? He nodded his head. What does a nod mean? A nod means no. 4. Tom. Tom had a similar problem when he arrived in India. After explaining something in class, he asked his students if they understood. They responded with many different nods and shakes of the head. So he asked his students, "Do you understand?" They moved their heads and shaked their bodies. So he assumed some people hadn't understood. So he explained again. When he asked again if they understood, they did the same thing. He soon found out that his students did understand. They understand. In India, people nod and shake their heads in different ways depending on where they come from. You have to know where a person is from to understand if they are indicating yes or no. So for number 4 here, this is a big problem. Yes, that in India, people shake their heads even without a reason. And you think that there is something wrong or they ask for something, but no, it means yes. A. Read the article, then answer the questions. Number 1. What were these Americans doing in other countries? They were teaching English. So number 1, they were teaching English. Number 2, what was Lisa trying to buy? Lisa was trying to buy a cold drink. She was trying to buy a cold drink. 3, how do people show yes in Micronesia? They raised their eyebrows. They raised their eyebrows. 4, who was Jane talking to? She was talking to a waiter. A waiter. She was talking to a waiter. And we say talking in American talking. She was talking to a waiter. 5, what does a head nod mean in Bulgaria? A head nod means no. 6, why did Tom misunderstand his class? Because his students nodded and shook their heads in different ways to indicate yes. Again, the answers. His students nodded and shook their heads in different ways to indicate yes. So number 1, they were teaching English. Number 2, she was trying to buy a cold drink. 3, they raised their eyebrows. 4, she was talking to a waiter. 5, a head nod means no. 6, his students nodded and shook their heads in different ways to indicate yes. B. What or who do these words refer to? Write the correct words in paragraph number 1, line 2. So in this exercise, you have to go up like this and you search for the word. Paragraph number 1, this is paragraph 1, line 2. Living in a foreign culture can be exciting, but it can also be confusing. So it here means what? What is the meaning of it? So here, for every word, for every pronoun, you have to search for the paragraph number and the number of the line. Number 1, it means living in a foreign culture. Living in a foreign culture. 2, there. Paragraph 1, line 4. What does there mean? The group of Americans. The group of Americans. 3, her. Paragraph 2, line 14, first word. Lisa. Lisa. 3, Lisa. 4, that country. Paragraph 3, line 6. So here, the name of a country. Bulgaria. Bulgaria. 5, the same thing. Paragraph 4, line 10. Responded with different nods and shakes of the head. Responded with different nods and shakes of the head. Again, the answers. Number 1, it means living in a foreign culture. 2, there means the group of Americans. 3, her means Lisa. 4, that country. Bulgaria. 5, the same thing. Responded with different nods and shakes of the head. C, group work. Have you ever had a similar communication problem? Or do you know someone who has? What happened? So here you tell the class about your experience. Now that's the end of unit number 3, part 2, Interchange 3, 4th edition. Homework number 1, keep the words by heart. Number 2, listen and repeat. Number 3, answer 3 pages of the workbook, Unit 3, the last 3 pages. Number 4, go to www.cambridge.org/interchangearcade/. Answer the questions of unit number 3. You will have grammar questions and vocab questions. They are funny questions as games in Interchange Arcade. 5. Watch the video of Cambridge University, Interchange 3, Unit 3 video. Wish you all good luck. Hope you like it, share it, and subscribe. شكرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Presentation Plus is available exclusively with the new 4th edition of Interchange, the most widely used and the most successful English course in the world, incorporating video, audio, and even online resources, all with the click of a mouse. Visit the link below or contact your Cambridge University Press representative for a demonstration today.